Hello everyone, this is William Kelly here, one of the creators of Duel. Just going to give you a quick tutorial of how the game actually works. So in order to start the game, what you're going to do is set up 6 cards in the middle of the playing surface here. These should be in between all of the different players who are playing the game, whether that's 2 players or all the way up to 6 players. So once you have those 6 cards set up and you've already figured out who's going to go first, the first player will then go ahead and actually roll the dice, and then the searching will begin. So I roll the dice here, and you can see that I rolled a 4. So with that 4, what we're going to do is look across all of the showing cards and try to see if there are any cards that are displaying a symbol that represents the number 4. So when you see one, as I did here, what you do is you would call out 1-4, because I see a card that has 1-4 on it, put my finger on that card, and then that gives the rest of the players 5 seconds to question that claim. So maybe there's more than 1-4, maybe there's not a 4 at all. In this case, I did correctly claim it, and so I would get to take that card and add that to my deck. Now, during that time, the rest of the players are looking across all the other cards to see if they can find any. As I did here, there's 2 4s on that card. So you would say 2 4s, and you go ahead and point at that card. Once all of the cards that have matching symbols on them have been claimed, then you go ahead and replenish the 6 cards in the middle there before the next turn begins. So once we've got 6 cards showing again, the next player will go ahead and roll the dice, and then we'll start that whole process over again, searching for the symbols that match the number. So here I rolled a 7, and something interesting happened, which is that there's a double dot. So there's those 2 7s there that are the exact same symbol. Whenever that happens and you recognize it, you can call a double dot. And when you call a double dot, you get to take all of the cards that are showing in the middle of the playing surface. So here, since I called it right away, I would get to take all 6 cards. So you always want to keep an eye out for those double dots. Anytime you see a matching symbol, you're going to want to quickly scan the remainder of the cards to see if there's any other card that has that exact same symbol. You'll never have 2 of the same symbol on the same card, but between any 2 cards, there's always exactly 1 matching symbol. So double dots are actually pretty common and can be a key component of whether or not you're actually going to win the game. So you're always going to want to keep an eye out for those. Now, once you've got the middle of the playing surface kind of recalibrated, the 6 cards showing, then the next player would go ahead and roll the dice. Here I rolled a 6. We're going to go ahead and kind of skip through this because I'm trying to show something else. So I'm going to roll again to show a different number here so that I can show you what would initiate a duel. So when I roll again, I roll an 8. So on this bottom right card here, there are 2 8s. But let's say I claimed 1 8. If I claim 1 8 on a card and the other player recognizes there's actually 2, what they can do is they can call out .duel. And what that's going to do is initiate a duel after the search period is over. So we're going to put that card off to the side for later, and then we're going to keep looking at the rest of the cards. So I'll see one here, I'll say 1 8, that one's correct, I can take that. There's another card here that has an 8 on it. If I find that, okay, 1 8, I'll take that card, and you just keep going until there are no more matching cards that have an 8 on them. So claim that one last card. On those remaining 2, there's no 8s. And so what would happen then is we'd go ahead and initiate the duel. So the duel is going to take place between 2 players. There's the player who incorrectly claimed a number that was not accurate. So I said 1 8, and there was actually 2. And then there's the other player who called out .duel and initiated that duel. So the player who initiated it only has to put forward 1 of their cards for the duel. And the player who incorrectly, said 1 8 when there was actually 2, or 2 8s when there was actually 3, or whatever the situation might be, has to put forward 3 cards from their own deck. So with a duel, what you're basically doing is taking the cards that you already have claimed, and you're putting them up at stake against another player. So in a duel, what's going to happen is you're going to roll the dice, and it's going to be the player who initiated the duel that rolls the dice. So here a 7 was rolled. Now what happens in a duel is both players are looking across the 4 cards that are a part of the duel and trying to count the total number of symbols there are that match the number 7. So as we search across all of these cards, there are only going to be 2 symbols across all 4 that match 7. So whichever player calls out 2 7s first, and they are correct, and they can point them out, then they take all 4 of those cards. Now, let's say that there was a double dot in a duel. So we rolled the 7, and there were two exact symbols that matched one another, the same representation of 7 on two different cards. If you successfully call a double dot in a duel, you not only get to take the 4 playing showing cards in the middle of the duel surface, as well as the contested card, you also get to take the entire deck of your dueling opponent. So you're going to want to be very particular about when you initiate duels, especially late in the game. If you are close to winning, you have way more cards than the person you're going up against, you might not want to initiate a duel because you risk losing your entire deck. So those are all the basic rules of Dot Duel. It's pretty quick. If you all have any questions, feel free to reach out to us at info@thinkfastgames.com. Thanks.